Blissey is a Pokemon released all the way back in Generation 2 that has seen consistent usage in competitive singles over the years due to it being the most effective special wall in Pokemon history. Blissey's extremely well-defined role has stood the test of time and made it a staple of competitive singles. Blissey is ranked OU in 5 out of the 8 generations it's been in, and even in the 2 where it's ranked in UU, it's still very much usable in OU. Gen 9 has seen more than one competitive singles mainstay drop significantly in viability, and Blissey has unfortunately been caught in the crossfire as well. Blissey has dropped all the way down to the RU tier in Gen 9. What happened to Blissey? How has one of the most consistent singles Pokemon of all time fallen so far? Let's take a look. But first, an important update. Iron Treads has used its augmented vision to scan the surrounding area and look for Pawmot, who was recently captured by Iron Fellow, the Paradox future form of Spoink. However, his readings came up short. Experts have theorized that Iron Fellow may have terrestrialized Ghost to avoid detection. Like this video and subscribe to the channel so that we can enlist the help of the Pokemon Flamigo, who is able to detect ghosts thanks to its ability Scrappy. 59.2% of you watching right now are actively hindering this operation. Thank you. When it comes to Pokemon that were designed to excel in one very specific area, Blissey is probably the best example, with its absolutely gargantuan 255 base health, enormous base 135 special defense, and minuscule 10 base physical defense. Blissey has one job, and that is to take special hits. Blissey's normal typing lends itself well to this role. You don't need to resist anything when the natural bulk from your stats is this good, and with your only weakness being to fighting, you can shrug off the vast majority of special attacks in the entire game, even from the strongest of legendaries. Even super effective fighting type special hits don't do very much to Blissey. With access to the great ability Natural Cure, which cures you from any status effects once you switch out, the immediate healing of Soft Boiled, and a vast utility move pool, it's easy to see why Blissey has been a mainstay all these years with how well it can defend against special attackers. In Gen 8, Blissey gained access to the move Teleport, a significant new tool that allowed Blissey to safely pivot into whatever it wanted. One of Blissey's biggest issues has been the fact that switching to it tends to be a big momentum loss, and its passive nature is very exploitable. Teleport helped to remedy this, but in Gen 9, Blissey lost access to Teleport along with 2 more of its best options: Toxic and Wish. Toxic allowed Blissey to put enemies on a clock and cripple them for the remainder of the game, and with Wish, Blissey was able to heal up its teammates. Without these options, Blissey's utility in Gen 9 is more limited. Blissey is also not a great fit in the current Gen 9 OU metagame. Blissey still has good utility options like Stealth Rock and Thunder Wave, but with Great Tusk being the #1 most used Pokemon in the format, Blissey really suffers. Although Blissey may be able to switch in against special attackers and defend against them, it can't do much from there because of how easily it invites in Great Tusk, who is immune to Thunder Wave and can rapid spin away the Stealth Rock, as well as directly threatening you with a close combat. It also doesn't help that Iron Valiant is one of the most common offensive Pokemon in the format, who has a great special damage output, but also access to stab close combat for physical coverage, which completely demolishes Blissey. With new additions like Goldengo and Garganical, who Blissey can't really touch, and Clodsire, who outclasses Blissey thanks to its access to Toxic and superior defensive abilities for the metagame. Using Blissey in Gen 9 OU at the moment is really not worthwhile. Even in Gen 9 UU, Blissey is not a very good addition to competitive teams. There are simply superior choices in UU for defensive utility that can make more progress after they switch in than Blissey can, or are superior at responding to specific metagame threats. In Gen 9, Blissey's passive nature sacrifices too much momentum to keep up in this new, fast-paced environment. For this reason, it has settled down in the RU tier, where it is still a viable choice. But it does feel a bit strange to see Blissey, the former competitive beast, settle in such a low tier. However, there is one format where Blissey's unmatched proficiency as a special wall is actually still very useful: Gen 9 Ubers. With so many absurdly powerful special attackers in this format such as Miraidon, Iron Bundle, Fluttermane, and Chi-Yu, Blissey is the one thing in the game that can actually switch in against and handle all of these threats, and for that reason it is worth a team slot in Ubers. Blissey often ends up being a great Pokemon in most Ubers formats, where so much of the metagame consists of these powerful special attacking legendaries. Blissey fits right into this environment, and in Gen 9 this is no different. Blissey gets a bit of a bad rap for being a defensive Pokemon that can be difficult to break through and also frustrating to face. But I've always enjoyed the very specialized role that Blissey provides to a team, and with the very exploitable weakness of its non-existent defense stat, I find Blissey much more reasonable than many of the powerful new defensive Pokemon that have been released over the years, with abilities such as Magic Guard, Regenerator, and Unaware. Blissey not being viable in Gen 9 is a result of increasing power creep, the loss of important moveset options, and just not fitting very well into the current metagame. But as we've seen in Gen 9 Ubers, if the meta ever calls for an answer to overwhelming special threats, Blissey will have a place and fulfill that need. In case of emergency, Blissey is always there. What do you think of Blissey? Who's your favorite former competitive superstar that eventually fell off? And what would you like me to talk about next? Let me know down below in the comments. And thank you for watching. This video topic was requested by Dastardly Dwarf over on Patreon. Thank you for the support, and thank you to the rest of the patrons as well. Become a tier 2 patron to request a Pokemon for me to cover in a short, informative video just like this one, and to appear on this outstanding end screen alongside your favorite Pokemon.
The money got different, cause of what I'm spending. The money got different,
oh, it's
cause of what
Megaphone!
I'm spending.
Whoa,
The money
KO
got
by one
different,
hit! It
cause
scattered
of what I'm
spikes!
spending. The money got different, cause of what I'm spending.